I'm Jean Tooney, and I received my nickname the Fighting Marine for my outstanding records and because I wanted to join the Marines. I was born May 25th, 1898 in New York City, New York. I grew up in New York where my dad worked as a longshoreman, but we were considered low class. I learned how to fight with my boxing gloves on the streets at only 10 years old, but I decided to fight until my teen years. Around the 1919s, I wanted to join the U.S. Marine Corps during World War I. There I won the light heavyweight in Paris during this time. In 1926, I was rewarded the world's heavyweight champion by decision after 10 rounds. Even though I had some rough patches, I fought through it, which makes me the most favored boxer in my time period. Throughout my boxing career, I won 61 matches, lost one match, and had made 45 knockouts. Once my boxing career came to an end, I decided to enter the business world in the United States and also Canada. I was an executive for banks, manufacturing companies, insurance firms, and also newspaper. I appreciate this opportunity I was allowed to have, which has made my life even better.
My name is Harold Red Grange. Practice makes perfect, a motto for everyone to go by. Well, it's true. I came from northeastern Pennsylvania holding 75-pound blocks of ice on my back for $37.50 a week, becoming one of the most famous football players in history. I wouldn't have gotten anywhere if my family and I hadn't moved to Illinois. My mother was the best. I miss her every day. Her death had ripped a hole in my family, but every day, everything I do is for her. I've heard that I am Jack Dempsey, Babe Ruth, Al Jolson, Pablo Nurmi, and Man of War put together. I take that as a compliment, as they were all great athletes as well. I was considering playing basketball and competing in track instead of football, since I had done it in high school. However, in my 20-game career, the Ohio State game would go down in history for me. I ran 388 times for 2,071 yards, caught 14 passes for 253 yards, and completed 40 out of 82 passes for 575 yards. Of my 31 touchdowns, 16 were at least from 20 yards, including 9 from more than 50. After the game, I had announced I was going pro. C.C. Pyle, the theater owner and promoter, had negotiated a deal with the Bears owner and coach, George Hollis. I was guaranteed $3,000 per game. So when I say practice makes perfect, I mean it. There may be rough patches along the way, but it all pays off in the end.
The greatest slugger, the first sports superstar, the great Bambino, Babe Ruth, George Herman Ruth. Yes, I am him. The guy who came into the big league as a lefty hurler for the Red Sox, who also won 89 games in 6 years and set the world record. At age of 19, I was spotted by Jack Dunn, the owner of the Baltimore Orioles, which he was the one who signed me to my first professional contract. As much as I loved my parents, they had to give me custody to the Jesuits. I then went to St. Mary's Industrial School for Boys in Baltimore, Maryland. In my career, I had started out on the Baltimore Orioles, which is a minor league team, and then got moved up to the Boston Red Sox. I started as a pitcher. I hurled the ball from my left hand.
I also played as an outfielder, and according to everyone else, I was the greatest hitter. We had won 2 World Series. In 1920, I was traded to the New York Yankees. The Yankees had never won a pennant. After a while, we became the perennial American League and World Series champions. On February 26, 1935, the team released me and I signed with the Boston Braves. These 22 years of playing baseball has been the best times in my life. I've had 714 home runs, including my remarkable 60 in 1927. I have had 2,873 hits, 2,213 RBIs, a .342 batting average, a .474 on-base percentage, and a .690 slugging percentage. If anyone says they can't do anything in their life, they're wrong. You can do anything you want as long as you try your hardest.